Not all wounds bleed. Some wounds live in the body, in the mind, in the nervous system, in the silence you carry, and in the parts of you that learned how to survive but never truly learned how to rest. Emotional healing is not about pretending nothing happened. It is about becoming whole again after what happened. And recovery is possible. In this video, we are going to talk about emotional healing and recovery, what it really is, why it takes time, and how to begin returning to yourself after pain, disappointment, betrayal, loss, burnout, or emotional overwhelm. Because healing is not weakness. Healing is one of the bravest forms of self-respect. Emotional healing is the process of facing, feeling, understanding, and integrating pain in a way that no longer controls your life. It is not denial. It is not rushing. It is not spiritual performance. It is not forcing yourself to move on before your heart has had the chance to tell the truth. Healing is what happens when you stop running from your pain and start relating to it with honesty, compassion, and courage. Recovery means you begin to rebuild. You rebuild trust. You rebuild safety. You rebuild self-connection. You rebuild your ability to feel without drowning, remember without collapsing, and live without constantly bracing for harm. Healing can feel hard because pain does not only live in your thoughts. It often lives in your body, your patterns, your reflexes, your emotional triggers, and your nervous system. That is why sometimes you tell yourself you are fine, but your body is still tense. Your sleep is disturbed. Your trust is fractured. Your heart is guarded. And many people struggle because they expect healing to be linear. But emotional healing is rarely a straight line. Some days you feel strong, some days you feel fragile, some days you think you are over it. And then something small touches the wound and the ache returns. That means healing is layered. One of the greatest blocks to emotional recovery is avoidance. Avoiding your pain may help you function temporarily, but what is buried does not disappear. It waits. It leaks into your mood, your relationships, your energy, your self-worth, and your choices. Another block is self-judgment. Many people are harsh with themselves for not healing faster. They say things like, "I should be over this by now. I'm too sensitive. Why am I still affected?" But healing delayed by shame becomes even harder. Another block is staying loyal to what hurt you. Sometimes people hold on to pain because it has become part of their identity. Sometimes they keep reopening wounds because the familiar feels safer than the unknown freedom of healing. Recovery requires your willingness to stop feeding what is breaking you. Emotional healing asks for honesty. Honesty about what hurt. Honesty about what you lost. Honesty about what you needed and did not receive. Honesty about how you adapted just to survive. It also asks for compassion. You cannot bully yourself into peace. You cannot shame yourself into wholeness. You cannot punish yourself into healing. Healing asks you to become a safer place for yourself. It asks you to listen inwardly, to stop abandoning your own feelings, to stop minimizing your own pain, to stop explaining away what wounded you, and it asks for patience. Because recovery is not just about feeling better. It is about becoming stronger, wiser, softer, and more integrated than before. So what does emotional healing look like in practice? First, name what you feel. Clarity is healing. You cannot process what you keep avoiding. Sadness, anger, grief, fear, disappointment, shame, exhaustion, name it truthfully. Second, create space instead of suppression. Journal. Pray. Reflect. Talk to someone safe. Sit with your emotions long enough to hear what they are trying to tell you. Third, stop normalizing what harmed you. Sometimes recovery begins when you finally say, "That hurt me. That was not okay. That cost me something." Truth opens the door to repair. Fourth, rebuild self-trust through small acts. Keep promises to yourself. Honor your limits. Rest when needed. Say no when necessary. Choose what protects your peace. Fifth, watch your inner language. Do not become another wound to yourself. Speak to yourself in a way that supports recovery, not self-destruction. And finally, allow healing to be gradual. You do not need to rush to prove strength. Real healing is not loud. Sometimes it looks like softer reactions, clearer boundaries, deeper breathing, better choices, and less self-betrayal. That is recovery too. Recovery is not becoming who you were before the pain. It is becoming someone more conscious after it. You may never return to the version of you that existed before heartbreak, betrayal, loss, trauma, or emotional collapse. But that does not mean you are ruined. It may mean you are being rebuilt with more wisdom, more discernment, more depth, more tenderness, more truth. Healing does not erase your story, it changes your relationship with it. And one day, what once broke you will no longer define you. It will simply be something you walked through and survived. So if you are in a season of emotional healing and recovery, be gentle with yourself. You are not weak because you feel deeply. You are not behind because healing takes time. You are not broken beyond repair. You are recovering. You are returning. You are learning how to hold yourself with more truth, more care, and more strength. And that matters. If this message spoke to you, leave a comment with the words, "Healing is happening." Share this video with someone who is quietly carrying emotional pain. And subscribe to Integrity 44 LTQS for more teachings on emotional healing, self-mastery, and aligned living.